Obama.
Okay. No, I think
that's an interesting one.
There's lots of shit.
An interesting discussion. Yeah, that'd be an interesting discussion. Third, he is the guy who's been. I actually, how have you been, Jackson? I mean, I've seen you. It's just like your life's on keel. It seems like everything's just going fucking swimmingly. And am I wrong?
No, nothing's really like wrong right now.
I didn't have a creative intro for you because they can't bust your balls about anything.
Yeah.
You're just you're doing well.
You're such a good boy.
I know. I know. I grew up well.
No,
things been good. Just really focused on this weekend. I'm sure we'll talk about that more.
Oh yeah, we will.
But living or dead, I think one for my cyclist. I think we can all predict where this is gonna go. Peter Sagan. Yep. I think
teach him how to wash a bike.
Yeah. But I think it'd be really interesting to hear from a person who's won so much.
Yeah.
But also has come down to the point that they are now, and how you can like mentally deal with that. That's got to be really like a complex mindset to have to take on. And then mine are both going to be living, but another person, people might laugh at this, but Harry Styles is somebody who I
don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. He's probably like one of my favorite like musical artists right now, but also what a weird life he's lived, because he went from X Factor to like huge boy band stardom to now like.
Is that what he started on one of those pop shows?
Simon Cowell found him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
didn't he find all of? Wasn't it?
It was the whole One Direction.
Yeah. And then he's grown. He's soloing. Yeah.
And
his career didn't go in
One Direction.
Fucking sorry.
But people with that type of fame, I'd really be interested to hear about.
Yeah. Okay.
One question about Peter Sagan. Does his voice ever bug you? Kind of, sort of has a weird.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know that I could listen to him for an hour.
It's a little nasally.
I don't know if it bothers me. It's just like
could you tone your voice down a little bit while we're talking?
A lot of pros seem to have a little bit of a nasally voice. My wife made an association once where she actually said that she thinks the fastest bike racers in the world have to have big noses.
To draw in.
Or aerodynamics. Yeah.
We should ask Karsten.
Mine?
Paul's got a bike racer nose.
Karsten's got a big nose.
It's huge.
Karsten?
Huge.
No,
yours?
me.
Yours not that big.
That's pretty big.
But it's got that shape. His work. We all have baby noses.
I got small nose.
Suck. Yeah, we're fucked. That's why we suck.
Yep. And so do I.
Paul has no
and I got a bike racing nose.
Yeah, me, I am the guy who's been living the last 2 weeks off of the bike and terrified of what that entails.
Why?
Because
you got a taste of it on Sunday.
Oh, I got my ass handed to me on Sunday. We're going to get to that, though. I would have dinner with not a bike racer. I'd have dinner with Dave Grohl and Paul McCartney because they know each other, and Paul McCartney's fucking Paul McCartney, and Dave Grohl is fucking Dave Grohl. So I don't know why. Those are two guys I'd like to just sit and listen to them talk, where I didn't even have to ask a question. They could just go boom, and I'd be like, "What? John Lennon really was an asshole?" I mean, I just think John was a dick.
He's probably high on himself.
Sure.
Pompousy. Smarter than everybody else.
All right. I said it, and I'm going to keep going with it. Who's been riding and how often? Who wants to go first?
Jack,
I will.
Jack. Go ahead.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Now,
I did get
Jackson?
1 day on the trainer in the last fucking week. So
What?
Yeah. 1 day.
Are you going to race when you
Sad.
get down to Vancouver? Is
When
that
I
your
leave
intention?
here? Yeah.
You're going to...
No, I don't. My intention is because when we go to Vancouver, I won't have 3 jobs. I won't be a home inspector, and I won't be a whatever electrician. I can.
You know what?
Focus
Every guy
on,
says that as soon as the baby's born.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be a bike racer.
Right. But so taking the bike, and we're gonna live on site. So we're gonna, air mattress in whatever room is most finished.
You should have a fucking HGTV show.
We're gonna. Well,
I'd watch that shit.
It's pretty fun. And so we're gonna set up the barbecue, all that, and we're just gonna wake up, do, a ride, a run, whatever, and then work till midnight.
That's your only focus.
That's all
is
we're
that
gonna
gig.
have to do. That gig,
Wow.
that one gig. So that'll be totally different than it is right now. Because seriously, right now it's like juggle 2 things and then work till midnight or work till 11.
Your life
After this, I go back to
your
my
life
job.
is played to the Benny Hill soundtrack.
So I feel like I'm
That
gonna
was
ride.
generational
And-
too.
Yeah,
by the way.
Jackson's
Yeah.
It's
But,
okay, Dave.
you know, so I feel like
It was fucking sexist and stupid show,
Yeah,
but yeah.
yeah.
we're gonna ride,
Yeah.
and I'm taking a bike to Maui. I'm putting my foot down, and we're going to Maui in mid-June, somewhere in there.
Will a soft ride
And-
bike fit? Yeah.
Watch the logs
I
on the
don't
road.
own a soft ride.
Watch the
anymore.
logs.
But yeah, I hear about the logs. Killer logs.
Yeah. People think it's sharks. It's the logs.
Sam's
Why?
actually loaning me his bike bag. So,
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow, that's
I'm gonna
cool.
take it. Take the
Might have
bike
some
and
blood stains on it.
hair, just random.
Hair clumps. Clumps of hair.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm pretty excited about this summer. I'll get into some kind of shape. So you know what?
So you'll be ready. You'll
I-
be able to race with this.
when?
This weekend, right?
No.
No, it's
This
in
weekend.
July.
But
It's July
I am-
23rd. Is the crit?
Oh, down maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
But so I have lost that weight or some weight, like 10 pounds, and I'm
Dude,
still
nice
still
job.
down. We're drinking again, but
Yeah.
I'm down. I'm drinking less, and that's helping.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
But I hover about 170 every day. So.
Fuck you.
Mm-hmm. I say that.
I'm
only
staring
for
at
you.
you across the bar, bitch. You asshole. Who else has been writing?
That's a long
Jackson, what's your writing life been like?
It's been tapering with a purpose.
Oh.
Yeah. So I've been recently racing a lot on for the Wednesday night races that we've been having, which have gone pretty well.
Yeah.
And then
You got a first and a second, right?
yeah. And so that has been really helping. I mentioned to you when we went on my second ride of the week, which was when we did a little course recon. That those races that we've been doing have really kind of geared me up a little bit for that when you get after like you finish a hard effort or you're at the top of a climb to accelerate out of that. So that's been really helpful. And just that race mentality I've really been thankful that I've kind of come into. And then, when we did our course recon, that was a lot of fun. I'm really happy that we now know, or that now I know a little bit more about the course, where to make the moves, when to stick in, all that type of stuff. So
Who sings the song You Had a Bad Day? Had a bad day.
that was a one hit.
That was on my fucking head all day Sunday because
Really? I'm glad you didn't share that.
I had a horrible fucking ride that day. I was not. I had moments where I'm like, the strongest man alive, and then I had moments where I was going, I need to die. I need to. There's a wonderful ditch that I can just die, and people can come
Dirt
visit
nap.
me. Yeah, I went from highs to lows, and it's because I've really only done the mountain bike races for the last 2 weeks. That's kind of been it. My last road ride was when we had to turn around because I broke a spoke. And you were sick.
Quality miles
Speaking
there.
of which, my wheel's supposed to be finished by now.
Cool.
Well, they didn't call me though, so I'm a little
not cool.
concerned. Yeah. So that's been it. And then I've been on my mountain bike twice, and so I have realized that if I take that kind of time off, my racing is gonna suffer. And so I was really glad we did that. I was glad that I felt like shit. Mentally, I'm not glad that I felt like shit. But overall, it was a good idea, I think, to go out there and do the course, do the full distance of the race, get the feel like garbage, and understand that, I try to convince myself and those demons behind me going, you suck, to get that out of the way. And so we'll have to see. So we did say that our district championships are this weekend. We have a time trial on Saturday morning, road race Sunday, Saturday afternoon, and a crit on Sunday. I'm not doing the TD. But Paul, how's your training life been?
Well, I was forced to take some vacation because I had so much. Sorry.
Oh fuck!
I don't want to
you.
rub it.
This is like Pat and the weight.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is where
Oh,
yeah.
So okay.
So anyway, I had 3 days off, and
What's
I
that
just
like?
haven't. It's really awesome.
Did you try it
Did you
someday?
ride?
Yes, I did, because I had plenty of time off.
I'm gonna chew my glass. Right.
So anyway, Yeah, I got a couple of rides in. I wanted to do all 3 days. The last day I went to go, and it was a terrible weather-wise.
Oh, good.
And all those 2 days, yeah. So I didn't get 3 in. And then I was going to do it Saturday, but our weather was pretty bad. And since I have not been riding because of sick, or if it's foul weather, I'm not going to push anymore.
You're back before the.
It was the back. It was in January, and then I got
this,
all
your
5
stuff
weeks.
now. By the way,
it's in the back.
I got it all.
Yeah,
You
it might be
sound
contagious.
like Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon in Grumpy Old Men. You got the lumbago. I got lumbago. I don't even know what lumbago is. I just like saying it.
But anyway, then we did the recon ride, and that was probably the first ride. Not that I felt good because I started cramping and stuff, and I know that I'm fit. I mean, I'm not fit, but I think what it is that at least I wasn't coughing up a lung or having a sore throat. I was getting that after every ride, and that was the first time. So,
your lung butter on that ride we turned around early was
I think there was
disgusting.
Tail end. I probably coughed it all up, and that's what probably helped.
Yeah,
But I had a sore throat the next day. So.
yeah. It's like, see that puddle? That wasn't from rain.
Yeah,
That's from Paul.
you could seal a tubeless tire or wheel.
Yeah,
That's what it
it's a sealing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
Spinning the valve.
Just
There you go.
spin.
Give it a spin around a little bit. There it goes, sealed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can I say I did put a deposit down on a new bike?
You know what,
From
Jack?
this, from this
Jack-
what is it, a decade from the
This
11-speed era? From the
This is
11-speed
an
era.
ongoing saga that listeners want to know about.
Right,
I'm
like
serious.
they give a
about
shit.
No, they do. I get people asking me about
Yeah,
how's
where's
Jack's bike
bike?
searching.
Is he
search
riding?
going? Is he still in a fucking?
They're living
soft ride?
vicariously through you, so
I
don't
have-
let them down.
I haven't had
Yeah.
a soft ride in like 15 years.
But I love that people
Yeah.
still imagine you on
I
a
know,
soft ride.
I know.
I've seen pictures. It's ugly.
Yeah. Is this big black thing in between my legs?
Yeah. It was in a
Sorry.
crit.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't remember
I'm
where.
gonna just let that go.
See, you
Yep,
just
keep going.
can't unsee that.
So, what
I'm glad I didn't.
what are you buying?
I'm buying a Argon 18 Gallium Pro disc with SRAM red and
12,
new wheels.
12 speed.
I don't know. Okay, so it's supposedly a 2023 bike, 2022 bike, but they don't make that color anymore. So there's a little bit of confusion, but basically I get what I want because they're making it in flat black now.
Okay.
And calling it something like a CS, and it's got a lower grade kit on it.
Ooh, flat black. Are
So
they calling it?
I said-
just like everybody else's bike.
Pretty much, and
Okay.
that's when I told the guy, "Oh, I'm out. I'm buying a Canyon, and I'll be flat black, But
You really want a
So-
flat black?
no,
Oh,
there's not.
But that was my point. Is if I was going to be forced to buy a flat black bike, I'm out. I'm not buying a Argon 18.
Okay.
Gallium.
Oh, okay.
If they can find me the blue that I want, then
Okay.
that's the plan.
You
And
need
he
to-
found one.
Everybody, shut up for a second. Jack Broadhead. What type of brakes is it going to have?
It's disc brakes. Disc brakes.
Yeah.
No, it's everything new and modern and all of that. I just,
Did you really think it was going to be rim brake?
Did you
Did you
think
really think?
if I buy a bike every decade, do you really think I'd buy a rim bike? I got a rim bike, so God, Jesus. I'm Oh, are we done? We're not buying rim brake bikes
No,
anymore?
we
Or
can
are
buy
we
rim brake bikes.
Okay.
I
You're
want a
buying
rim
one.
brake
I
bike.
know.
I do want a rim. I'm not buying one. I can't afford one yet.
Oh, you're gonna buy a disc brake bike.
No, I would buy a rim brake bike today
That's a hard thing.
if
to
I
say,
if
rim
I
brake
if I could afford it, just to have a second one waiting in the wings, just like I'm ready, Pat. Put me in, coach.
Yeah.
Something like that. I would do that. I would do that in a heartbeat. So and it's going to be blue.
Yep.
Okay.
Called Blue Monday.
Ooh.
It's pretty. It's
Sounds like an
it's-
'80s album.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
does. It's actually a translucent, really pretty blue that you can see the carbon fiber through.
Ooh.
White,
cool.
white lettering. It's got red and silver. Like, I'm gonna describe all this, and then they're gonna send me a flat black one.
They are.
And
You're gonna be fucked.
but it's that typical like inside the fork
And
inside
rattle can
the,
of blue paint.
I'm just gonna get out the Krylon, fucking. But inside the forks and the chainstays is that red silver, extra
Is
color.
it an Astana colored one?
No.
An old Astana
They don't-
color?
No.
Oh, because
They
they don't
were
ride those
for a
anymore.
while.
They
They were,
rode
yeah.
they rode their color bike with a yellow sticker. This is all
Okay.
blue and with red sticker.
When's it going to arrive?
When
pay
it
it off.
arrives.
So
I
it's
have no idea.
it's ordered.
It's ordered. I paid
This
a
isn't down
deposit.
payment. Okay, deposit.
And he says if it doesn't show up in like 6 months, then we'll just cancel the order. So this is a tough one to get.
Wow,
Bikes are tough
that's
to
a
get.
business model that I would like to be involved in.
Okay,
you
no.
know? Yeah.
So
I'll invest
I'll
your
get-
money for
I'll
6
get-
months.
Yeah.
I'll get my
If
money.
it doesn't show up, you know what? I didn't feel like it, so fuck you. I'll
I'll
give
get
you your
my
money,
back.
Wow.
If it doesn't show in the but the rep
Well,
was
yeah.
the rep was very confident that they could get me this bike.
They would know.
Yeah.
They would know. Yeah,
very
I mean,
much
so
so.
I keep expecting an email saying, "Hey, your bike's here.
Okay.
Come pay a
lot
used
more.
car price.
A lot more.
Cha-ching.
$8,500.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's Canadian money, so it's really only $3,500.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot better.
Yeah.
I think.
Rate of exchange is good.
Is it?
I have no idea.
Jack's
I
is like,
said,
no,
Do I get
no way.
do I get a discount on this?
Yeah.
No. If
Wow.
I come get it?
Is anybody contemplating any events? And I know we're gonna. I do want to kind of briefly talk, even though we've been blabbering, but I do want to briefly talk about the fact that we have a race this weekend, and I think we can apply that to the listener who you're sitting there listening to this going, I don't necessarily need to hear about how these guys are going to ride the race, but how do you prepare for a race and things like that? But my bigger question is what the fuck are we going to do after this weekend? I mean, we've got
only two races
We're
this
talking
year.
about
Yeah.
we're talking about a Fondo, the Chafe, which is a horrible name. I don't even want to get into the fact
It's
that
what
they call it the
happens.
Chafe.
Yeah.
You know, it's a dumb name. I don't know what if it
It's an
stands for
acronym.
anything. Is
Yeah,
it?
for
I think it is,
something.
Oh,
yeah.
like
Children's
Children's
Hospital.
Hospital.
oh fuck.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh god.
Way to
First
go,
thing-
I
Pat.
made
First
fun
thing-
of a
wait,
children's
We're-
hospital
yeah,
name.
exactly.
Is it really?
No, I don't think it is.
Because I'm just like,
Well, we're
going to
donating
hell.
$50.
It's
to
for
it.
Yeah.
So what are
I
we
think
donating
it's for
to?
schools.
Yeah, it's the Rotary Club.
Yeah.
Wait, we're donating? Does that mean?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah. I
Yeah.
have to have clearance. The thing is this Father's Day? You
Yes.
got to understand that on Father's Day, as
You
a
don't have
father,
control
you
over
don't
it.
have a control. I've never had control over Father's Day, but I might. We'll see.
Wow.
We'll know by. Well, I'll have to hit her up when she's still rummy from her trip. She'll be back on Saturday, and I'll ask her.
Wow.
Can I do that? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, and then
All right.
still jet lagged.
I have Jack's mic muted until he opens his fucking beer.
I did in my mic.
Yeah, so we're
get ya?
here
Yeah, I
we
got
are.
IPA in my face, and now I'm gonna gag.
Yeah. Here we are. We're talking about this weekend. We've got our district championships, and we're all really excited about it. And that's great. And let's be honest, May for the average Joe is kind of an early season race. Domestic racing, amateur racing has kind of become this bookend of a season where you have these, at least in our region, where you have these spring races ending in May, June, and then you have nothing until August, September. And I'm desperate to find something. I need something to train for. I've got this weekend, which I would like to say I'm nervous, and the demons are, you're not going to do well, in the back of my head, and I understand that, and I hope they don't beat me down too much. But after that, it's like, okay, now what? What are you guys doing? Do you guys have any thoughts?
You're going to
Do you guys have any
Vancouver
plans?
crit. You're parking your
Yeah.
RV in my
That's the end of
driveway.
July.
okay. Baker City.
No,
That's in
we're going to
June.
do Chafe instead.
Oh, same weekend. Okay.
We're going to do
all
a
right.
Fondo. And
How
I
was
feel
Tour de
kinda-
Bloom?
I feel kind of iggy that
What's
we're
that?
doing a
How was
Fondo.
Tour de Bloom?
Well, I will turn it. Boom. We got a drink.
I feel kind of gross that we're doing a fondo instead of a race. Does anybody else out there feel that? And I'm talking to you guys, and I'm talking to the cyclists out there. I was talking to Terry Prime, who's a good friend of the show, and he said he's training for like 2 or 3 gravel races throughout the summer, and I think that's cool. Mm-hmm. I don't have that, and I want that.
Aren't you doing a race across Washington?
No, I'm doing a
ride.
Doing a fuck you, Jack.
Well, I think we're not riding a fondo. In my mind, we are racing a fondo.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So it's. I mean, as we've discussed, probably to the nth degree on this show. I mean, if we show up to an event with the intent to be competitive, I would consider that a race. So, I mean, one way or another, we would have done a race, you know. So I don't know if I feel necessarily icky about it. I'm just happy we're still like doing something, you know, whether it be long distance, short crit, that type of thing. And there's stuff around, you know. We just got to search. I mean, if we want to drive 6 hours to Portland, Vancouver, wherever,
Baker
I mean,
City.
it's available. It's just it takes a little bit of effort. And what we've seen, I mean, on June 4th here in Spokane, there's a crit. So there are the options out there, and I bet you that's not going to be the only one that they do either. So
am I the only one placing too much pressure upon this? I grew up for so many years thinking that if I am a bike racer, there are a minimum amount of races you need to attend.
How many Wednesday nights do you do? That's a race.
Yeah. Do they count?
But that's mountain biking.
Of course they count.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you show up with an intent to be competitive, then it's a race.
Okay. Paul?
Have you gone to the WSBA calendar?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, unfortunately, I would have done Turtle Bloom drink.
Yep.
In fact,
Jackson's out.
I might be a little bit obsessed with that race. That I found myself late night watching all the crit footage. It's on YouTube.
Twilight crit is
their Twilight. They had that. I watched the Cat 4. I watched the Cat 1, 2. I was going to do the 3s, but I started falling asleep. But you know, to watch and to see how these people. I'm thinking
you watched the 4s,
the Cat 4s
for the crashing.
No, well, there was a crash in the 2s, and the ones in the guy who did the 4 was in the four-man break.
Jack.
It's a good one.
Don't freak Jackson.
I'm good where I am. Yeah.
But
it's interesting. They started with the 4s, and then I watched the 1s, 2s. And then I fell asleep during.
Well,
the 3s.
I watched the 4s because it was long. It was a long footage. It popped up on my feed, and I thought, oh, they have this, and it was the Cat 4s, and it was like 38 minutes. It was the whole race from start to finish. So, and I'm like, well, I've got to watch this.
How many cameras?
And then I thought, well, there's got to be more. Just one rider. Each category has one rider with a camera on it.
That's
awesome. And they're different people, so I don't know if the organizers had I choose you, or whatever.
Pikachu.
But there was one guy he actually edited it and put in like his thoughts. And the Cat 4 one I really like because he gets dropped. It's a cat. He's learning.
Yeah.
And he gets dropped from his compatriots on the breakaway, and he digs in deep and he bridges up, but you hear him breathe like a freight train. And I'm thinking, I've been there.
Yeah.
You know, under the breath. Yeah.
And he didn't swear or anything, because I'd be just like,
he might have
rated R video.
It was fun.
Not suitable for work.
I'm stupid enough to not watch regular television, rather watch like crit footage. So
Speaking of which, this is kind of leading into another area, but our lovely Bike Fit Sam himself, I was looking at the categories today for our upcoming race. There is a Hagens Berman rider in his group.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Have we been, by the way, speaking of that for this weekend, I notice you guys are talking about, I've never been the time, honestly, I don't even think I ever knew that you could check of how many people were in your category. I never paid attention to it. I just show up at the race. See, but you guys were saying earlier you were checking not only the Omnium, because it is a time trial road race crit, but the people who are just signing up for one day, and that adds more to it's. I was blown away at the low numbers.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised. This is our district championships. It's 2 states.
They're coming in because when I checked, just like the road race, there was only like I think last week 2 guys in the 50 category. There's only 2 guys just doing the road race. There's 7 now.
Okay.
So they're coming in, and I think what it is, I think some people, it's like they're probably going through. To be honest with you, in the state of Washington, racing, the majority of the people that race are on the west side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So just like us not going to my decision to Baker City is like
drive all the way to
at $5 a gallon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that's probably influencing that.
Yeah.
So, I know for a fact I've talked to several Seattle people when we've had the state championships over here, and we race. I talked to them the next day, like at a crit, and they're like, "God, this riding here is unbelievable. I'd do more races if they had them." But it's easy to say. It's a follow up, So.
Yeah. You can get your ass over here. We made a race.
Well, when we do the same thing,
we
talk
right.
races.
No,
and
exactly.
Go,
Yeah, you going to Volunteer Park?
No.
I haven't been to volunteer parks since
you're a
the late
junior.
80s. Yeah. So it's like, I think my hands are still sore from that fucking race. Those are terrible.
I bet they've repaved it.
You think?
So
Guaranteed.
I'm going to throw out a listener call to action. I would like you listening to this in whatever shape or form you're in, and tell us what you're training for. What kind of events you're doing. What kind of things keep you going throughout, especially the dog days of summer that we run into so horribly here. The June ends and bike racing more or less kind of dies. And I would like to know about that in other regions. Why are you giving me such a look? I'm not talking about a dog. I'm talking about bike racing.
All right.
The dog of bike racing comes back to life, Jack. It's not Old Yeller. I'm not taking a bike racing out to the backyard and popping a cap in its skull.
Go to like our spring sucks.
Yeah.
And now you're talking about the dog days of summer.
Yeah.
And like so you got like a window of 2 months here.
Yeah. Where bike racing doesn't
is
happen.
amazing. Oh.
Bike racing
riding
doesn't
is
happen.
amazing, but
There's no races. That's what he's saying.
for fuck's sakes.
I know.
And a lot of people are, and I'm tired of the middle-aged white guy excuse of it's because kids have soccer tournaments.
And they do.
This camping trip is planned and that.
Well, we also have Mother's Day, Father's Day, somebody's birthday, somebody.
Yeah.
Grandkids.
Yeah. Oh, they're all in the way of every bike race that happens.
Like
so what I've heard.
So
like
what's
this
wrong?
weekend, actually, here's an incident. My grandson's 7th birthday
We're 40 minutes
is on
in and
Sunday.
I haven't even hit the headlines yet.
He's 7. He'll be 7 on Sunday. I called my daughter and said, "What time is the party?" Because I'm just about ready to drop some money to do this race, and it's going to be determined. And she goes, "Oh, it'll be Sunday." I said, "What time?" "Like after 1." "Great. My crit's at 10. I can get there." Fine. 2 weeks later, she says, sends out a group text and says, "Sorry, we were going to rent out this facility, and it had to go 10."
do that.
And so what I said to her, and I text her and I said, remember when I asked you? She goes, "Yes." And I said, "Well, I already signed up and everything." She goes, "Don't worry about it. We'll have a private party on Sunday." But the big kid thing is.
Yeah.
But when you're not there, everybody will ask.
Yeah, they'll
and then
talk
we'll
about
have
you.
the first party, and you won't be there. And everybody go like,
my daughter has my back.
bike
Believe me.
racing.
No,
yeah.
My daughter has my back.
Selfish
She does.
Really?
prick.
Yeah, she has my back.
Yeah.
So-
But everybody else at the party will be like,
That's fine. I
Where's
don't care
Paul?
about the rest.
Where's
It's
Paul?
my daughter
Where's
I care
Paul?
about, my
Yeah,
grandson.
that's
So.
fine.
Jackson, this is
He
what you
gets
have to
2
look
days
forward
of
You
to.
get a special party.
Shut up, you. This is what you have to look forward to, Jackson.
Oh,
just
my God.
just being denied at every
So let's see.
point.
Don't have kids. Don't
Death-
have grandkids.
Death till you
Don't
part.
have Mother's
You're
Day.
fucked.
Don't have-
There we go.
Adulting.
Oh my God. I'm getting to the news headlines 40 minutes into the podcast. Jeez. We're going to do an abbreviated news headlines, right?
Is that page 1?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Just throw it
okay.
out.
Whew.
Panda Watch. Hey, at least it wasn't from a disc brake. Biniam Girmay captured a historic victory at the Giro d'Italia, and I Paul and I had a little discussion about this earlier, but I'm going to keep going. As the first black African rider to win a stage of the Grand Tour today. However, the celebrations abruptly ended when he injured his eye on the podium. I know that most of the listeners to this show have already know what's going on in the Giro, but he was uncorking a gigantic bottle of Prosecco, and some intern overly shook the thing, and it went into his eye. And he apparently they confirmed that he was assessed by both team and race doctors about 15 minutes after the incident. He was required that he went to the hospital. A spokesman is yet to comment on whether he will be able to race tomorrow or not. So this gigantic emotional moment followed by open the ow. I'm going to give him a little bit of shit because when I was a very young man and my father took me out on the back porch on New Year's Eve, my father was probably half tanked, and he would look at me and say, "Buddy, you want to open the champagne bottle?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." And he said, "Don't point it in your fucking face."
Yeah.
We live in the first world country where he comes from. That's probably the first bottle he's ever put hands on.
But yeah. So
it's a big win.
Yeah.
I will say that I saw footage of him later toasting with the team at a dinner. He didn't have the eye patch on, so hopefully
there's nothing cooler than an eye patch.
He will, except when you're riding in a sprint and riders on both sides.
Well, you only need the one side.
Exactly. Just
get the barrier on that side.
Gets the barriers. Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Everybody, name a silly event that has actually happened to you that caused legitimate injury. Some moment in your life that
cycling,
you did something.
Or none?
Preferably cycling. I will give you an example. Twice in my life, I have almost ingested a bee into my mouth, and both times it has stung me. Once on the tongue, once in the back of the throat. And both times I have been incapacitated for about 3-4 days. I don't ride with my mouth open like I'm a fucking wind tunnel, but apparently the bees are just like going, I'm going to get that. I am allergic to bees. So the first one on the tongue, I sat on my porch, and I think I've said this story on the podcast many times before. I sat on the porch and waited for my wife to come home while I slowly started to sound like Gollum. I went to the hospital and they said, "Can I help you, sir?" And I said, "Yes, I'd like to get a space." And they said, "Why? What's wrong?" I said, "I don't normally sound like this." And they went, "Holy fuck!" And they took me back. And the second time, I was with Jackson, and it hit me again, and I just fucked me up. Just something stupid like that. Anybody ever have a stupid moment?
Not really.
Jackson's too smart for this.
We got. You don't have enough history.
Yeah. I mean, you find out real quick why dropper posts are big now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember this one.
One bump too many, and it right in the tailbone. But that's kind of like the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me while riding my bike.
It almost got you in the poop chute, though, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I've broken my hip, which is like an old thing to do for a young, I was like 18, but
I haven't even done that yet.
Hip?
Well, so it was kind of a weird situation. So I was trying
you bud.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to get the ball from somebody else, and my left leg went forward, and my right leg was the one that pushed off, and so the right leg stayed, and then the rest of my body kept going, and it separated from the muscle separated from the bone, and it tore the bone off.
Almost think that you'd have control over each of your legs.
Well, it was a weird situation.
Yeah.
It was like I've never felt anything like that.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
I remember the sound you made.
Painful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Any of you guys ever have something funnier?
Jackson's
is like, ow!
That is
Not necessarily
No,
funny.
my bee sting thing is.
Was it funny?
It wasn't, but it is now.
I don't think it
That was hilarious.
Funny now.
I started a time trial in the Grand that a bee went in and got me in the temple, and I quit. I just fucking quit, and I turned around, stopped.
In the TT?
Yeah.
How far in?
Like
2K?
quarter mile, barely started.
Barely a K. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's fair. That could have killed you.
Yeah.
It could. That's why I quit. I just fuck this.
Bee sting.
If it were
Yeah,
me,
bee
I'd have
sting.
looked like Jimmy Neutron.
I did get, like, when I first started at prep, and this has nothing to do with the bike, but
Rain
I got
blast.
stung in the fucking lip.
Oh,
Like,
Yeah.
you know, and then just, like, I had a big old fat lip.
yeah. Paul ever done
Bees are
anything
bad.
stupid?
Mine was not really riding a bike, but I was building a bike when I was working for Harry Gary,
Okay.
and he questioned me with the type of shoes that I was wearing. I'm like, what does it matter?
Oh,
I'm-
shit.
While you were building the bike?
Yeah.
Like,
Hot
like
torch.
you can't wear those while you build my bike.
No,
Freezing
he
toil.
didn't say that. He's like, "What do you wear tennis shoes? Don't you have boots?" And I said, "No, I hate boots." All right, that's the way Gary
That's
was.
Gary.
Oh.
So I'm thinking, what does he care what I wear?
Steel toe boots.
Yeah, because I'm careful. I've got a torch. It's 1,200 degrees.
Piece of
800, 1,200
Hot
degrees.
flux
sitting there.
dropped onto
Yeah,
it.
no, I'm sitting there and I'm sweating in, and some brass goes right
down
through my
your-
shoe,
yeah.
through my sock, and then it's like, how fast can I get this stupid shoe off? And I don't want to put my foot down on the ground because it's full of dog hair and who knows whatever at Gary's place.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, yeah.
Harry.
Yeah, yeah.
This is
Harry Gary,
Harry
yeah.
Gary.
Yeah.
Beautiful bikes.
Yeah.
Beautiful
Yeah.
bikes.
Yep.
Interesting character though.
Giro d'Italia up to this point, gentlemen. Rapid fire answers. Biggest surprise, Paul.
Say it again.
Biggest surprise of the Giro up to this point.
I would say Jean Almeida.
Yeah.
His finish was
Oh, yeah.
that was impressive. I didn't really put him on the radar, and I'm thinking, why didn't
I think
But
Currently
Yeah.
sitting
Yeah,
second
I
at
did.
12
Right.
seconds.
Yeah.
He's sitting
Yeah.
second place, 12
Yeah.
seconds down. Jackson Bulger, riders you thought would do great, but did not.
Ooh.
not Yates.
Oh, my God. The listeners are calling
He
out
predicted
you
that.
and your prediction. by the
Yeah.
way. He's still in the race.
But
Yeah.
11 minutes down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who I thought would do better, probably Vincenzo Nibali and Tom Dumoulin. I thought they would be able to hang in for a little bit more. I didn't think they would do as well as a Carapaz or a Almeida, but I
They're
thought
not
they would
that
have
far
more.
down though. I mean, they're
Nibali is
like
pretty
yeah.
close.
I think
yeah.
Dumoulin.
Oh, I didn't notice. But
Nibali
the
sitting
other,
304 down.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like that's
13th
like
place.
one,
Better than
one
Yates.
stage. One
Yeah.
stage, yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't think they'd get dropped that early.
Yeah.
I thought they'd be able to.
That was a
stick with it.
weird, hard finish the other day. That like
Blockhouse?
wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like maybe some of the other mountain stages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it caters to the weird finish, like somebody that's not going to win the race.
Jack Broadhead, rider you think is going to win the thing now?
Whoa, Carapaz.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
we can all.
I mean,
probably
that's
ride
a that's
that
an easy
gravy
one.
train.
Could you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you give me a harder one?
It'll be a
I
battle.
did pick Romain Bardet. and
I picked
He
Romain
looks
Bardet and
really good.
Martin.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Paul, will Caleb Ewan win a stage before he abandons?
I don't think he will.
You don't think he will?
Yeah, tomorrow we'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
But he
lo-
did turn off the gas. I'm going to back it up.
Yeah.
He turned off the
Today.
gas early just for tomorrow,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Jackson Bulger, how about the old guys? It's irony that I'm picking this to ask you. Valverde, Nibali, Port, Richie
Yeah.
fucking Port.
He lost time today, though.
But do you think it's because he's shutting off the gas for?
Yeah, he's working.
I was gonna say Valverde. He was there.
Holy shit! Right?
He was there on the finish of that Blockhouse day.
123
That's actually
down
fitting,
overall,
fitting
sitting in
for
11th.
him.
Yeah.
He's that type of rider.
Yeah.
Right?
But for a guy who's a world champion, can win classics, he's doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Especially for the ripe age of 42.
He might be a. If I were to re-answer that, what a glorious win! Like, what if he could win?
Holy shit! Right?
God, we'd all be feeling good.
He'd
about
race for
ourselves.
another year.
Oh yeah. Oh,
He probably would.
Oh,
he
yeah.
probably would.
I'd say peace out right then.
Would you?
How you just won the Giro? I'm done.
Yeah.
Go
yeah.
full.
Don't waste another day.
He's won the Vuelta, hasn't he? think
I believe he's won
the
Vuelta. Yeah.
Yeah.
The excuse train has a new conductor, everybody. Having started the Giro d'Italia so strongly, Wilco Kelderman's GC challenge came undone on stage 9 when he attributed part of the blame to disc brakes. Now, there has been a new part to this, but reigniting the disc brake versus rim brake debate once again.
Oh, shit. I'm going to reorder my bike.
Yeah, Kelderman, who placed 5th and 7th on the opening 2 stages in Hungary, lost contact with the main bunch ahead of the final climb on Blockhouse, where he went on to lose more than 10 minutes. The Bora Hansgrohe rider struggled up the steep 13K climb and would later cite back pain as a cause, but it was a mechanical problem that had put him on the back foot before the climb began. His excuse was that he was saying originally, he has since backtracked on this, that the disc brakes caused heating in the hub, which caused spokes to break, which caused wheel damage. Both Specialized and Revolve wheels, both owned by Specialized, of course, have completely contradicted this, saying, no, it was an impact-based issue. Has nothing to do with disc brakes. Now, mind you, the Paul Maines of the world, the people on Paul Maine's side of the equation are just going, preach it, brother!
Yeah.
And everybody just basically so happy that disc brakes are getting a bad rap here. But he has gone back on this. Kelderman has gone back on it since. Paul just gave the money, the money gesture, meaning don't bash your sponsors.
Ask Gaviria about that.
What's that?
He lost a sprint, and he said it was. Remember, he's slamming his bike down
He
and
was
stuff.
saying
and
Colnagos and Campagnolo was shit.
Yeah, he says I can't
That's
say
the
because
worst
the sponsor.
combination ever.
In the Tour of Italy,
Yeah,
I know.
like
he was bashing Colnago
and Campanello.
and
That guy should be
Campagnolo.
just banned for.
That's happened several
like
times
saying,
on a.
Hey, fuck Pasta
Ferrari.
and wine.
Yeah.
Fuck Pasta and
That
wine.
happened in the
Yeah,
Giro
yeah.
before. It was actually what's his name? He
At
just
Monza
retired.
and Ferrari, just fuck
Ferrari,
fuck Ferrari.
God, the guy, the Sardinian that just retired, the Italian, ugly guy. Starts with an A.
Alberto, no,
It's-
Albanese?
No,
I just like him because he sounds like a
Moreno.
Argentine?
This is
Just
terrible.
Moreno,
No, he
Argentine.
just
Yeah,
retired.
There's an A,
and he was on
an
Astana. Well, anyway, he was on a Colnago, and he screamed, "It's a shit bike!"
Oh.
And Ernesto says, "You don't get to say that."
No.
Yep, take it back.
So
I'm
I
gonna
wanted
look
to bring
that
this
up.
one to
It's driving
Paul.
nuts.
Do you think this is truly a bike issue, or do you think
I think he was
silenced?
he was making excuses
Do you
because
think
it
the
sounded like
Illuminati
he was drunk.
told him to shut the fuck up?
Yeah, I think there's more than just one thing here. I think
right.
people say you don't get to say that. Who pays the paycheck?
You don't get to say that
No,
ever about
no,
any of your sponsors. I mean, or unless you're looking for a new team.
But the way I
Or
understand
you're on
it,
a soft ride.
yeah,
God, we're interrupting the fuck out of each other.
I know.
It's like we're pumping cocaine into the heating ducts.
What do you got going on in there?
Wow, Jesus, Pat.
So I think he's making excuses. Sounds like
Sensi.
he got dropped and he was like descending like a madman, and then it
Yeah.
happened. But that has happened. They have had Revolve wheels have had an issue, but that's an older generation. I've actually seen footage of an amateur race that's happened. On the and there's different things. They've, in my opinion, they've fixed that. But it is kind of funny that he has to blame.
He
disc
has gone
brakes,
back
so,
on it. He
yeah.
has basically.
But why? Whether he really believes it or not, that's
Who the
another
fuck
thing,
is this
so.
guy?
Exactly.
Kelderman.
Yeah.
Kilderman. He was a hopeful.
He's a big rider for
well,
Boro Hansgrohe. Yeah, Sagan. Speaking of interesting bike inventions, did you guys hear about this one? UnoX has been riding what's called a classified hub based. It's a 2-speed shifting system that has been spotted by the folks at Cycling News saw it first, and in Tour of Hungary, what it appears to be is this internal rear hub design that negates the issue of needing a front derailleur. Basically, it's a wireless shift that changes the gearing. A wireless 2-speed rear hub that connects either to your electronic shifter or a separate shift button fitted to the handlebars using
the bike I just ordered is
it's already outdated.
Yeah.
fuck.
Bluetooth.
God.
Inside the hub, 2 gears can be found. The first is a 1-to-1 ratio, essentially transferring the same gear as if it didn't exist. The second is a 1 to 0.686 ratio, effectively reducing the size of the front chainring by 31.4%, which would reality basically mean a 52 by a 36. Internal rear hub. Getting rid of the front derailleur altogether. No more cross-chaining issues. No
You
more.
still would have cross chaining. Well,
No,
I mean,
you've
you
got
still
one chain ring.
That's true, but
You're
there's
running a
still
one-
there's
You're
still
one
stress
chain
on that.
ring, and you have 12 speeds
Yeah,
that you're going
the
across.
more
You're
speeds they
gonna
put,
have-
there's going to, and the narrower the chain that they're making is still going to be an issue. It's not as bad as like a big chain ring.
So
It's centered. It's
what they
that
need to
front
do is
wheel.
bring it down to 5 again, and have internal.
There we go.
Because
I just muted him. Jackson, I want your opinion on this cool new technology. I genuinely just muted both of you guys.
I think it's a really good idea. It's already been kind of done in it's already been kind of done in the gravel area of it. I forget who it was. It's either 3 brands I'm thinking of: Campagnolo, Ridley, or Ritchie. I don't think it's either or any of those. Anyways, but they are doing that already with the gravel, where it's just you have more gears now somehow. But I think it's a good idea, especially with the idea of something like a Paris-Roubaix. You don't need 2 chain rings. You don't have to worry about chain slippage, anything like that.
gravel or cross for sure.
Yeah. So I think it's a great idea for rougher races, but also it takes away that risk if you can add more gears to a point where it's like a 2x system, but just in a 1x system. If you can do that, then it takes away that possibility of you're putting a lot of tension down and you slip into the little ring. What if your chain comes off? There's always that possibility.
Is there a weight?
That's the thing.
Probably
My thing
weighs
is,
a lot.
I don't have a problem with the design or anything, but there is, the more they add, that cross chaining is kind of a, I understand there is a friction involved, but I think that it truly is actually going to be the future. I do see internal hubs, but weight is going to be an issue. We already threw in, the frames have to be heavier because the disc brakes themselves.
But if you
And
get
now
rid
the
of the
frames are
front
going up.
derailleur, I know that doesn't weigh shit, 38,
especially
or I
nowadays,
don't know,
yeah.
whatever. But you got a hub that you're putting all the weight into the hub versus maybe a rear derailleur and a front derailleur eventually.
Okay.
Internal. Yeah, I'm all for it.
Here's what I want you to think about. 12-speed rear. Internal hub that shifts. And a front derailleur. You'd have so many gears.
So
It's like having a triple.
It'd be like a straight block.
So-
straight block in
right.
every situation.
there's but
You'd
so
never
what-
have a
so
gear
what
jump.
So what if you could take your computer and hey, I'm dialing up a crit. I'm gonna go straight block 50, 55, 52 front chain rings or whatever, a little slight hill or whatever. You could just dial in electronically any gear ratio you want.
I could see that. That makes
so,
sense.
So this makes me think of overland. There's a couple companies for vehicles that go overland that have multiple speeds, front and reverse.
Okay, I don't.
But
Jack,
we'll
Jack
just
for-
go
No, you got to
electronic.
stop for a second
Yeah.
because I don't know what overland
Okay,
is, and
never
I'm
mind.
sure most
Sorry.
people who listen to the show don't know what overland is. So tell me what overland is.
So a lot of the big trucks, a lot of camping overland.
Oh, I know
you
what
know,
you're
like
talking
in
about,
your van, in your whatever. And I'm not talking sprinter vans. I'm talking highly specialized vehicles that are built with transmissions that have multiple forward and reverse gears like a tractor.
And it's got the
Okay,
overland
okay,
thing on the
okay.
back of it, right? Like a
Well,
little
yeah.
mountain.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a brand.
No,
got the
I-
sticker.
doesn't it have- yeah, the little sticker.
Okay,
yeah.
okay, so-
I know exactly
so-
what it
but
is.
there's
They've
companies-
rolled coal on Jackson on many occasions.
So yeah, not that, but so you have transmissions that are becoming more like a tractor, but very highly technically electronically changed with differentials. So that is the way it's going to be. And you take rally and F1 and you put you squish it all into cycling and you're going to get this auto push button programmable transmission.
Do you imagine the ability to actually say tomorrow's stage is this? You have everything internal.
Yeah.
It's all an internal hub system, belt driven.
You get on your iPhone and you go
And you go, I want
That'd be cool.
11, 12, 14, 18,
Yeah.
23,
Right.
36.
Yeah.
and a bailout. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm all for
Pretty
that.
sweet.
I mean, the potential. The thing is with technology,
Why don't we
especially in the
cancel
cycling,
my bike order.
Yeah, you should.
in the cycling industry,
Sucker.
they have a tendency because there's so much R&D to get it there.
Yeah.
I think sometimes they sell you a bill of goods, and so the early people in there, and I think we'll all be on disc brakes, and they'll all be fine. But at this point in time, they haven't convinced me it's worthy of the change. And I think same with this. But
How much time do we got left?
I think it'll be good. I think it'll be a good thing. I'm not anti-technology by any means, but there's got to be you don't ignore it. You say, hey, this is better than this. Yeah, but we have this problem, this problem, this problem.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, no. You don't have to worry about that because this will override those problems. And it doesn't. Mm-hmm. And that's a problem I come across. I still see, like, Trobro Leon. Did you guys watch that?
I did.
You
I watched
have
the
to
highlights
watch
of
that.
it.
That is one of the
race.
best races
Great
so
race.
far this year.
Totally got shoved under the rug here
Yeah.
in terms of.
But there were some pretty fucked up wheel changes in that. It was nasty. And I'm like,
People
it's
falling
too
all over the
complicated.
place. Yeah.
Cycling was simple.
Yeah.
And now it's getting too complicated. But if it's a simple advancement where you're not sacrificing three things to get that one thing, I'm all for it. Weight is a huge thing for me.
Weight is a huge thing.
Yeah.
I thought you were telling us to wait.
Wait.
Stop. Before we get to the topic, I do want to mention this. I know it's been out all over social media, but I would feel horrible if we didn't give it the mention. And most of us have an empty glass, but I believe we can pretend to. The American cycling community is reeling after the loss of the tragic shooting death of Mariah Wilson, and I'm sure everybody's heard about this, and I don't need to go fully into the story. It has been ruled as a homicide, and as a big discussion came up on the Cycling Legends show about the issues of gun control and gun issues, and I don't want to turn our show into a political show. But I do want to say that we lost somebody pretty powerful in the sport, and I remember my wife, when I told her about it, when we went to Belgian Waffle, she was the winner of the Belgian Waffle that year, and she said, "Oh my God, she was so amazing. Her personality, her style, her energy was so infectious." I don't think she said it that way, but that I'm putting words in my wife's mouth, but she was heartbroken, and for somebody like my wife who's involved in cycling because her husband's involved and her son is involved in cycling, and to have that type of an effect on a non-cyclist to that extreme is a gigantic loss. And I know that the gravel world and the cycling world are reeling from this, and I hope in our country we can figure our shit out, and we can all just quit being pissed off at each other so much. And I we don't have enough in our glasses, but I would like us all to just toast Mariah and everything she did and everything she was, and thoughts with her family, with her friends, and the gravel circle. So I'm going to pause for a second there.
I got lots, so I'll drink for all of you, y'all.
Which one's the stout?
I don't know if it's tapped. You can try it. I think it's the far one.
Do you want my stout? You can
See
have
what
it.
comes out of it.
Here it is.
Paul's trying my home brew, and I don't think it's ready yet, and it's really foamy. Okay, so let's attempt to switch gears here. Our topic tonight brought to you by our friends at Untapped Energy, fuel-based for pure natural Vermont. Pure natural Vermont maple syrup. That's a tough one to say. Great flavors, and don't let the syrup thing fool you, everybody. Easily digestible, really good quality energy, and great quick to get into the system. And their stroop waffles are brilliant. I know that three of us here on the show are regular users of their material. So I want to talk about firsts. Our topic here are firsts, okay? Your proverbial cycling virginity, if you will, okay? Let's talk about the first time you did something, what you did wrong, and how others can learn or laugh from your mistakes, okay? So this is going to be kind of rapid fire, but it should be fun. And Paul, I expect a full report on how that beer either tastes or pour it out or use it as paint thinner.
Clean your bike parts.
Gentlemen, your first team training ride, what was that day like?
Well,
we'll start with Jackson.
I'll go mine because mine is quick.
Yeah.
Well, I was coming off soccer, so I didn't really have any of the proper gear. I had some of it, I was riding your old bike because I ripped the derailleur off of.
You did. We did a training camp, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember that we went out for a road ride. It was just the first ride that the three of us ever did together. Well, 4, including you. And I wore your old rain jacket as a as a way to stay warm because it was like probably late March. And it was like a parachute. And I remember being like, why is this so hard?
I'm
like
fat.
Well, I was like, 14, 13 at the time. And so I was like, wearing like my dad's stuff.
Sure.
Your dad's crabbing gear.
Yeah.
Wasn't a soft ride, Jack.
But I remember ending that ride going, why was this? I remember going, why was this so hard? And then I realized, I've realized recently that well-fitting clothing,
Aerodynamics.
yeah, it makes a difference. Yeah.
Jack, first training ride.
Do you feel like MC Hammer?
Jack, first training ride.
Sorry.
Hey, you can't touch him.
God, I can't remember last week. So
Rack.
we're talking so many years ago. I can't tell you what happened my first training ride. I mean, basically, I was told to show up, met at Wheel Sport.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I probably got to ride short. But
yeah.
I mean, are we doing takeaways from that?
Just tell me about the experience. Something funny, Jack.
I was
It's a timed
I was
podcast,
I was
Jack.
picked on for probably 2 years.
Were you?
Yep. Because I wasn't ready to kick everybody's ass. Mm-hmm. But no.
You were a skinny fuck.
I was a skinny little guy. I'd come out of the bike shop and my bike would be up on the canoe rack, like 15 feet up. I'd have to scale a canoe rack to get my bike.
Did Blaylock do that?
Yeah,
he did.
Is that why when I joined the team, you and I rode together just
Probably
by ourselves?
Yeah, and your mom, Emma.
No, Emma didn't ride with us.
She rode with me.
Yeah.
No, she
Did he
took
get
the,
ice cream at the end of that?
But no, I needed help. Yeah.
Paul?
God.
It wasn't a group. I can't remember my first team ride, but I joined a group of people to ride with. And it was the second day that I owned my bike, and then somebody said, you don't need to wear underwear underneath here.
God.
Did
And I wore boxers too, so they were all bunched
so you
up.
can tell.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're all bunched. When you ride, you're thinking it's like,
Ouch.
yeah.
My first team ride was with the same team that Jack rode for, and it was a sprint workout. I remember I rode up and I stopped
Out at Saltese Flats, like way out by Idaho.
How did you know that?
I was
You're
there.
freaking me out, man.
I was there
because we were doing sprint training, and the riders were coming towards us, and I came up beside our coach, and I tipped over. I'm gonna sneeze.
Bless you.
I'd edit that out, but I don't edit. And I tipped over, and the first thing my coach ever said to me in the world was, "You better get up, Buck." Because the sprinters were coming right at me at like 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And that was
gonna
it.
help you.
Yeah. So we're gonna split up the questions here because we're just at a crunch of time. So I would like to know your first race, your first real race. Who wants to take that one? Funny, interesting story about your first real race.
Mine was a TT.
Yeah.
The 10-mile time trial, and I've shared this on the story.
Yeah.
Your sister was the first contact. I didn't know how soon to get there. Cat 4. Just nervous as shit. I mean, unbelievable. And I'm the first one there, and then Molly shows up.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like pacing around. She goes, "Are you here for the race?" "Yeah." She goes, "You're a little early." I didn't know how soon.
We're setting up the course.
And then she goes, "You have your license?" And I remember "Yeah, I got it." And it's they were paper then.
Yeah.
And it's like the wind blew it out of my hand. I'm like chasing. Yeah. She's like, "Oh God." So anyway, that was kind of strange. And
Did it go well?
It went okay. We had the guy who launched me off. A guy named Calvin Jones. You guys
been
may
on the
know
show.
him. Yeah,
Park Tools.
Yeah. He sat there and I strapped in. No, it was regular toe clips and strap. And instead of just leaving the strap out, I tucked it in. He goes, "Oh, son, you don't want to do that." And he unclipped it. And he goes, "Just a little hint. You can take the little spoke guard off of there unless you're a really bad mechanic."
Oh my God.
So I said, "Okay." But I ended up getting second. I thought I won it because I caught my 30-second man, my 1-minute man, and my minute 30 man. It was like the beginner group C.
Sure.
And I thought for sure I had it, and I lost by 15 seconds. I remember beating the shit out of myself. It's like, oh.
I suck. I'm quitting.
Yeah, that's right.
First race I quit.
Yeah.
Jackson Bulger, your first real crash.
Oh, I remember it. Yeah. It was I would probably qualify it as my real big race, my first real big race. It was the junior stage race in wherever the hell that was.
By the nuclear towers,
Yeah.
Jack.
Elma. Yep.
Yeah.
Vance Creek. Vance Creek Road Race course.
Yeah. And it was like the first corner. Or no, the second corner.
On the downhill?
Yeah, on the downhill. And
So when you take a right to the farmland.
taking a left. It's on the crit.
No, they're all rights. Oh, the
We're
crit.
crit.
I don't know anything
Yeah.
about the crits.
And so I was on the outside of the pack, and I'll never forget. I took a tough time clipping in, and I was just about to get onto the wheel, and then this big, huge, like 14-year-old who was probably like 30
He's
in
like
reality.
your dad.
Yeah.
When I was young, when I was 14,
East
your dad was
German.
30.
East German.
Yep.
14-year-old.
Shaving.
Come with me
14.
if you want to live.
Yeah.
Get on my wheel.
Yeah, I'll never. And he was just huge, and had like the nicest bike I'd ever seen. And he was shoving me more and more and more towards this curb that was filled with like
Lava rock.
yay-sized stone.
Yeah, it was big. Yeah, it was bad.
And it just took me right over the bars and went into that just ditch. I had that. That was the probably fourth ride I'd ever done on that bike too.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Oh,
heavy
that
crash.
You
And the-
cheese grated your back. Too.
And then I raced the next day.
Yeah.
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 On that road course.
Yeah.
I redid the sewer plant up at that place.
Great
Yeah.
story, Jack.
Oh wow,
Great story.
got real good pipes up there.
Yeah.
It's a brand new sewer plant.
Your first 100 miler, Jack. First 100 miler you ever did.
You know, I probably at 14, 15-ish did some sort of what we called centuries back then. Somewhere out in the valley, and I don't know.
Quite memorable.
Yeah,
apparently.
really much.
Yeah.
Yep, I have.
Good story, Jack.
I have no fucking clue.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, 100 miler.
Let me ask you a different one. Let me give you. Let me
thanks.
catch you a little.
Give me.
little
I
slack.
don't want the
You can
crash
toss
one.
me the 100 miler
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
you want the 100 miler?
Yeah.
Just
Paul, 100
go ahead and give him that one.
Actually, Jack, your first major bonk, the time that you just was like, "Oh my fucking god, am I going to make it home?" Do you remember?
I didn't make it home.
You didn't? You
No,
didn't?
no. I actually, it's crazy. So I have dumb luck like this. So we're out on this like Hauser Lake, Newman
Oh
Lake
my
loop
God,
in
yeah.
March, and
Oh.
it's pretty much snowing all day, but wet on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 14 and a half and weigh $120, and I'm not with anybody anymore. Coming back on Trent, Upriver Drive, something
Yeah, yeah.
like that, and
They put your bike in a tree again.
No.
That's why you were behind, right?
No. I have no idea, but I'm all alone, and I like go to this house. It seemed familiar, maybe. It was like my best friend growing up, Todd's grandparents, and I got to actually like hang out there until my mom came and picked me up
Wow.
at 14
You
and a half.
shit me. Just
No.
a random house. It's like,
Random
hey, I
house.
know you.
Every time I drive by that on Upriver Drive, I'm like, that's the house that saved me.
He's semi-charmed.
It's that shit.
weird.
Like it is weird shit.
I
like
would have.
that.
I would have stopped off
At the person you'd be gone now.
Yeah,
You would
I'd been sold into
you'd be- yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
sexual
and you would
slavery of
not
some
even
sort.
exist anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jackson never
Wow,
would have
really?
been. Yeah, yeah. I'd be
No
dead.
Bender.
Oh God.
Wow, you're really
All
getting
that.
into this. This is like
My dog. My dog is the thing that people would have missed the most.
No, I started with Jackson.
You did. Okay.
that's what
Michelle.
Pauline, your first home mechanical attempt that broke something on your bike.
I don't get the Century.
No,
All right.
Oh.
First mechanical thing that I broke on
that
a bike.
you broke something on your bike.
Yeah, I can
You were
remember
trying to
very
repair it.
clearly. I had a
God, I spoke.
Miata had a it was called the Pro. Miata Pro. It had Superbi Pro,
Okay.
and the cranks were 170, and I wanted to change them out in length. Right. And so I ordered up some brand new.
Because you were probably
Superbi
riding
Pro
like a
from
62
Nashbar
back then.
Yeah. 53, 42.
Right.
With a 12. It was a 12,
But
20.
the Spur Pro
22.
looked so much like campy.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It performed well for friction stuff.
Sure.
But anyway, so I bought my crank extractor, and back in the days with the tapered thing, they had to be pressed. You know, you
Yeah.
clamped it down. I bought all the tools. It's great. So I pull off the dust cap, put the crank extractor tool, and started going. And I ripped all the threads out.
Wrong side.
No, I forgot to pull the bolt off.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
I stripped out.
Yeah.
There's no way to get that frickin' crank off.
Ouch.
The crank's gone. I had to buy a new bottom bracket and another crank, brand new.
Okay, I know that three of us are going to say the same thing, and we're going to do it on the count of three. Jackson might not say the same thing, but I want to see what happens. Your first major cycling crush, somebody you thought was attractive.
Rebecca
1,
Twigg.
2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Rebecca Twigg. Why am I the only one that said Rebecca Twigg?
I said it early. I said it before you.
I know you fucked up the whole thing. We were going to do
I
this
thought
whole
we were gonna-
NSYNC thing.
I thought you were. Yeah.
There was one.
We're not a boy band.
It was later on. I mean, I didn't.
Marianne Berglund.
No.
She was
beautiful
hot
too.
Yeah. Beautiful.
There's one that
That's
came
still
in
is.
at. I didn't really pay attention at that. I was too focused. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever was going on during
You
that
didn't have time for.
But when I worked at the bike shops, there was a Weight Watchers team that came in.
Yeah.
And there was this girl, I think her name was Lisa, and she came in, and I just talked to her about stuff. And Glenn
You have
Copus,
drinks.
who builds bikes, used to manage that team
Yeah.
and do the mechanics. So the team came in and got everything worked on and stuff. Almost said service because that would have gone really bad. But worked on.
They got service.
Yeah. So anyway, just chat. I thought she was charming. She was
Yeah.
great. And they went up and did Sandpoint.
Charming.
She was.
Yeah.
And then I watched her race up at Sandpoint, and then there's like I had stars in my eyes.
Yeah.
Remember
But,
when
you
Phil
know,
Anderson?
I was
rode
only a
Sandpoint?
Cat 3. She had nothing to do with me.
No.
Jackson,
It's
have you ever had a cyclist that you were kind of, wow, I want her poster in my room or anything like that?
Nah.
Not really.
All right.
How about
You're-
soccer?
You're
What
giving
about
us
soccer?
a look like we're disgusting.
No.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just like, sorry. I was like, I think that just somehow like ended up on my face.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that facial
How
expression.
about a women's soccer?
No,
I don't know.
No.
I haven't like.
Like the
Okay.
whole U.S. team.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
All right. There we go. Now we're going to switch to the best. The best coach you ever had. Who wants to take that one? Best
You.
coach. Jackson.
Yeah, there you go.
Because that's the only coach I've ever had.
I don't think I have it all, but
Well,
did you
I
ever
had
have
a short list,
Yeah.
but probably the most fun coach I ever had was Tom Ramsey.
Yeah.
He was a character.
Calvin Jones was my funnest coach, my most enjoyable coach. I mean,
didn't have
Eddie
Calvin.
B was technically my coach. I had a couple other Polish people as my coaches, and Craig Campbell was the junior coach when I lived at the OTC. Eric Calmon, French
Oh, yeah.
national champion.
I remember I raced against him too.
Frenchie.
But Calvin was the most enjoyable coach I ever had. Anyway, best team you ever rode for? Anybody have a team other than Jack? I'm going to have to ask you that. Well, Jack and Paul could probably answer that because Jackson and I haven't strayed too far away.
No.
Yeah.
Best team you ever rode for?
I'd have to say Granny's just because
Yeah.
I got a lot of perks, a lot of exposure, and a lot of travel. I got to go a lot of places. So
Paul?
Yeah.
Best team.
The team did really well without me, and that was a period of me going through my divorce. So, and I think I explained I had to give
Great
up my
story.
Yeah, I had to give up my skin suit. So
Oh, yeah.
that was the best team I
We
was
need
on.
a skin suit,
Yeah.
Paul. Can we borrow
as a quality?
yours?
Yeah,
That's like,
yeah. Listen, dude, you're not racing,
Yeah.
and you keep quitting. And we know your skin suit isn't soiled because
and
you're
everybody
not
else
using
has
it.
crashed
Yeah,
their skin
yeah,
suit,
yeah.
so we need a skin suit.
But as in Unity, the early days of River City Red, we had, we were racing like 40-year-olds, but I mean, it's fun when you really control, and you
guys
had
learned
a guy.
everything.
Yeah, everybody had. It was fun.
yeah.
It was a good year and a half that we had fun.
Best bike you've ever owned? Jackson, I would assume it's the current one.
My current BMC is definitely.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
But shout out to that Trek.
That thing went through hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never the chain's never been replaced. None of the gears.
no.
None of the chain rings, and that thing has never slipped. Never
Madone
skips. 2.3.
3. Yeah.
Yep.
Great bike. Bomb proof.
Yeah.
I don't get to answer that.
Best decade of pro cycling.
But are we
50,
all
60,
answering
70.
that last
No,
question?
we got to jump.
Okay. All right.
Best
All right.
decade of pro cycling.
Are you looking at me?
Yeah,
I guess it's me.
yeah, sure, Paul.
I would have to say 80s. That's what launched it for me.
80s?
It was really starting to take off. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was a
some of the guys
beautiful
from the 70s still
Beautiful time.
hanging around
Still
in
hanging
the
out.
80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, best bike you had. You guys can pick best bike you had. Paul, what was your best
My
bike you ever
best steel bike, I had a Dave Moulton Fuso,
had?
and I love that charity shit.
Those are such sweet bikes.
It was unbelievable. Still to this day, if I could find another one my size, I'd probably buy it. But and then I love my BMC.
Dude.
I really do.
Yeah. Jack?
My Pogliagi track bike.
Oh,
And everybody,
beautiful.
Everybody, like, there's still people that pitch me shit for not owning that still.
Yeah,
so
that's dope.
it's an amazing bike, and it had chrome Chinelli
Lugs.
steel bars. Well, just a beautifully built bike.
Yeah. I love my current bike, but I will say my Harry Gary is still one of my favorite bikes, and it's still in this house. I still own it. Thank God.
Yeah.
So I buy it for $300.
No, you're not buying that one.
Oh, damn it!
You're not buying that one.
get you drunk enough.
Best pair of cycling shoes you've ever owned. Jackson, do you have any? Is it your current pair, or do you want to go?
No, 'cause
go a
that's
little old
split.
school. It did. The toe splitting a little bit.
Well,
on it.
that's I've used my current ones quite heavily
Yeah.
for like 2 years at this point. But yeah, it's probably these like carbon soles, game changer. You never really realize it until you switch from plastic to carbon. It's pretty big.
big jump.
Yeah.
Mine,
Guys?
for comfort reason only, the Charlie Motet Ravats.
Oh, those were. But they were.
It was like
hot,
slippers.
but they
Jesus
were warm.
Christ,
I
they're
didn't
like
care.
leather. Weren't they a leather
100%
sole?
leather. Yeah, single
Leather
Velcro
sole
strap.
too. Like a
No,
hard
no, they
leather
were
sole?
hard plastic.
Oh
Yes.
God, dang.
They were like slippers.
When I first started cycling, I had white Luigi's. They were my coolest shoes.
They're supple and
Yeah,
they're cool.
kangaroo.
Very cool. Very slim.
And you know why my dad bought them? Because Rebecca Twick had them.
Oh, your
Yep.
heartthrob.
Yep.
He figured that you were staring at that poster.
shoes.
It was her shoes
Yeah.
you were after.
Yeah.
God, I just
Yeah. I don't
can't
know
take his
why.
eyes off that poster.
Yeah,
I got to get him
He
the
loves
shoes.
those
Yeah.
shoes. He stares at that poster a lot.
Jeez.
Best prize you've ever won at a race. Best prize, or it could be even the most interesting prize you've ever won at a race. Anybody? We can all go quick.
I'll go. A big fucking check. Just those.
You
big
got a
plastic
big
You got a big
check?
check?
I got a big check.
Boise Crit.
Boise Crit.
Yeah.
So the big.
Those are cool.
The big,
Yeah.
and
Did you get to keep the check?
I got the money.
Did you get to hold it up like
Yes. But I gave the check to the owner of the team, and I'm
never
sure
saw
it's
it
gone
again?
now. No, he's dead. But
Jesus.
I'm Facebook friends with his daughter. I might be able to get it back.
Yeah, that'd
she
be cool.
might have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, no, it's not even like trophies or money or anything. That you see guys hold up this big check, and
Yeah.
it's like it is worth nothing. Sorry.
Went from such a
I've
gleeful
never-
moment to
I
the
know,
death
I
of your coach.
dead.
I
Okay.
gave it to a dead guy.
Well, no, he wasn't dead when I gave it to him. God, then I'd have dinner with him.
What an odd transaction.
Jesus Christ.
He died of salmonella later that
Okay.
night. But
Yeah.
Jack got a big check. Anybody else?
Mine was interesting. It was not a sanctioned race, but Scott Bork.
Yeah.
And there was a race, and I was like my first year racing. It was at Deer Park, and there was this race outside of the city, and came back, and he won the race, and I got second, and he got like a $50 like savings bond or something like that, and I got a water ball and a patch kit.
And that was your you were so
Second
happy.
place.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was one of those. Not even a new water bottle. It had the little cap that had a little tail on it. On the
Oh,
cap,
yeah.
You had to pull the cap off.
You know, I
You
got
have
one
no
more.
idea.
I
It
got
has a
one
cap
more.
Those
over
are
the
cool.
top.
No,
So
Jack, you got to
we
go. You
had-
had your
we had-
choice, Jack. You had your choice. Don't make me mute you again. Jackson Bulger.
I got a pair of pretty cool cycling specific sunglasses.
Yeah.
At a mountain bike race, and then last week I probably got the weirdest prize I've ever gotten.
That was cool, though.
Yeah, you randomly called my name. Randomly.
I did. It was
It
on
was
the
random.
list. I
Yeah.
swear to God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't accuse me of
Cheating.
nepotism.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they were all random boxes. So I'm like, oh, cool. And the person behind there was like, Jax, you have 5 seconds. So I'm like, oh shit, I gotta pick it
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
And so I picked the one on the top, and I opened it, and it was a bunch of dill pickle stuff.
dill pickled chips, dill
wow.
pickles, dill pickle other
That's
stuff.
awesome.
Yeah.
I just did a bike race. What are the weirdest things I've ever done?
That's a gag.
I honestly thought you were going to answer with the empty beer growler you got when you were too young to drink.
That was sweet though. That was a.
But you gave it to him.
It's in my
You
house.
still got it.
It was a prize for winning the series.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, there is a weird
No
one
beer.
that we didn't mention, and CP organized a race.
Spam.
The winner- Yeah, Spam.
CP
Canada.
used to give spam. Can of
And
spam.
second place
That's
got
a great- piece
Spam
of
Light.
cake. What about
No.
piece of cake road
Oh
race?
yeah.
Oh,
David
yeah.
Ocker.
Yep. Yep.
You know what?
Yep.
I unofficially won the Joe Matava Memorial
Oh,
did you?
Criterium
Yep.
as a junior because the two people
They had
ahead of me,
great prizes.
the two people ahead of me got disqualified for acting like assholes, and one of them was an old teammate of mine, and we all know.
You'll have to see after Mike.
Yeah.
So-
And they got disqualified. So I got this gigantic haul of prizes, and one of them includes this Crystal Geyser mirror. Crystal Geyser was
They sponsor.
It's still in the other room.
Yeah.
It's still in the other room. And they told me that was worth a lot. And this sterling silver cup. This actual cup.
Wow.
And
Whoa.
I still have it. It's in
Well,
the other
yeah,
room.
because Joe Matava,
Yeah.
it was a junior
Big race.
Yeah, big
Washington
race.
big
Yeah.
race.
Yeah.
It's the biggest
yeah,
crit
yeah.
for
Yeah.
juniors. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I unofficially won that race because I couldn't.
So did you get first, second, and third?
What? No,
Tech
it was-
prizes all
I
dumped
got-
on you?
I got third place, but I won because I got a wheel change, and I had back in the days of junior gears. I started with a 15 because I had a full size
A 52,
Yeah.
15.
chain ring,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they gave me a.
13.
No, they didn't. No. It was the opposite. I was riding a 13 and I had a 48 front, and they gave me a 15 rear,
Yeah.
and I couldn't sprint. But the two guys ahead of me
We're such assholes.
were bumping each other and
Oh,
shoving
I
each
think
other all
I
over the
know
road.
who
That
it
they
is.
both got yanked. They both got yanked.
Juniors, though.
Yeah. We all know who it is. Yeah. Anyway, just good. The mics are hot.
Huh.
He doesn't listen. Richie Farr. One of them was Richie
Oh.
Farr. Our good old friend Richie
Oh.
Farr. Yeah. But
I was
and
thinking
they were
somebody
acting
else.
like idiots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Todd.
Nah.
Last question, gentlemen. Last question. Best cyclist, coolest cyclist you've ever met in your life. It doesn't have to be famous, but coolest cyclist you've ever met in your life. And I will let you all go if you promise to
I
go
got one.
quickly. Jack's got one.
Alex Stita.
Alex Tita. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Bob Roll.
Bob Roll. Paul, when did you meet Bob Roll?
Good.
Down at the trade show down in Anaheim.
There you go.
Yeah, he was sitting on the bench after he just lost his job with
Soft
Motorola at the time.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he ended up going into mountain bike after that. But he was sitting there with Davis Finney on a park bench. I was walking by for dinner, and Davis Finney had a cast on his arm, and I said, I saw that happen. He crashed. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
Michael Zanoli swept him up here in Manitou Crit and
Yeah.
broke his wrist. And I said, Bob, good luck. And he goes, hey, thanks. And he stuck out his hand and shook my hand. They were drinking something out of a paper bag.
Why wouldn't they be on a
Yeah.
park bench?
In
Yeah.
L.A.,
Yeah.
you know, this kind of
Right,
stuff.
right,
So
right.
Jackson
there you go.
Bolter. You got one?
Oh, what was his name? We met him last year at the end of BWR. He was the track athlete.
Oh, Nelson Vales?
He's the only one I've ever
yeah.
met.
He's
Nelson-
probably
But he was-
amazing.
Yeah.
He
dude.
was such
Nelson's
a nice
a good
guy,
guy. Yeah,
especially
really good guy.
after you telling us about how you went up to him, talked to him, and then he actually came over to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
Nelson's-
that your story about that because he
Yeah.
was hanging out at the trade show. Or
Yeah, he was
something.
just hanging out at the finish.
Yeah,
and I just
yeah.
walked up and I said, Nelson, I just want to say I was a huge fan back in the day.
Yeah.
And, and he was just like, hey, cool, you got a phone? I'm like, yeah. He says, let's take a picture. I'm like, fuck, okay, cool.
Give me your number.
He's like, where's your family? I want to meet him. And
He's
then
still-
the next thing we know is like I was Nelson's
You want a
buddy.
foot massage?
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. Cool guy.
Yeah.
You know what? And I can't really answer because I don't know if having
You've-
people on my interviews have been classified.
I
but
would classify it.
I've been able to talk to so many of my heroes, and that's one of the
You've
coolest
had
thing about doing
pros
the show. is-
live in your house during Washington Trust.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
and I'm not gonna,
Thurlow and
I'm not going to
blah,
say
blah,
Kent Bostick because Kent Bostick was a goofball, but
Well,
not in a
anybody
bad
that likes
way.
time
He's
No,
just,
no,
he's
it's
just
just-
funny. Yeah,
Anybody
he's
likes
just funny.
time trials.
Yeah,
It's goofball.
socially awkward Kent was, in so many ways.
Wasn't he like a geophysicist or a
Yeah.
astrophysicist
No,
or
he's-
something like that?
Yeah, rocks
Geophysicist.
Geologist.
Yeah, geologist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So there we go.
I have to say that if you're counting that, then the coolest person, because I sat in for Teo DeRoy,
Oh yeah,
And so,
Teo was a good.
Yeah,
was a
I
good
like
chat.
that guy.
Yeah,
And I always admired him.
it's always fun to talk to those guys. Speaking of which, listener, if you've had a chance, I am gonna toot my horn for a second. There are a lot of people that, well, yeah, there are a lot of interviews that I've been fortunate enough to have that a lot of people don't realize I've had, and we were, so it's cool.
One's
Look
one
through
of
the
the
archives.
greatest lead out guys, and probably it's going to be in the history so far.
Marco.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been
Miko Moko.
Phil Anderson. I almost said Phil Collins. Phil Anderson, Stephen Roche, Sean Kelly. Charlie Kelly.
Ned Overend.
Tinker
Juarez.
I don't want to.
I fed Ned Overend at Boise National Road Race.
Did you chew it up first, then put it in his mouth?
There was no baby birding.
Okay.
No,
okay.
No, mama birding or whatever that is called. But no, I was his feed
Holy
guy
shit.
at when we did national championships in Boise.
Yeah.
The one day was the seniors, and I got to feed Ned, and next day
You say go for the big check.
Jack,
It's cool.
yeah.
Are you sure? Because I could have sworn I was the one that was feeding that team.
Oh, we might have been.
I think you're
together, and
I think you're trying to live your life through me, Jack.
Oh, maybe.
Why he's on this show.
I got Ned. You got like some Steven dude.
I got who was the skinny guy who was a TV commentator? For
Gavin O'Grady.
No.
Not Gavin.
One of Ned's teammates rode for Breckenridge. Scott
Moninger.
Well,
I got
yeah,
Scott
you
Moninger.
could go beyond that because
Yeah.
he was.
He raced in his 40s.
Yeah, and yeah.
Hey, I do want to bring to attention a sincere apology to two people. Number one, Jackson Bulger, because I think we dominated the show and he didn't get a chance to talk. Number two for the listener, because I think that they're just going to get a 90-minute screaming in their ears. But if you kept up with us, that was fucking hilarious.
So,
I had a fun time with this one, you guys.
The reason is because
You're
the
here.
last 2 weeks, you guys
been the
have
three.
not had
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And I
You
fucking,
come in and it's
I
like
know,
throwing a cat
I'm
into a
like
swimming
wrecking
pool.
ball. I'm like a wrecking ball. Or a cat in a swimming pool.
Full of children.
I'll get you, kitty.
You want some candy?
No, you've got all the kids in the pool having a great time, and you throw the cat in there.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
No, don't be sorry.
Everybody who listens to the show, thanks for tuning in with us. Like and subscribe. I do need to say that. And I also would like to ask for a call for reviews on iTunes. I guess people judge us on that one.
Trying to get in the top 10.
Like, subscribe. Now we've been consistently in the as far as cycling goes, in the top 50, and in terms of that, and I love that, and I love that you guys are spreading the word and keeping things going. So get out there, tell us what kind of challenges you're doing this year in terms of bike rides, and I also would like to put out a call to ask of what challenges you would like to see this group of people do. I'm deathly serious about that. And if you'd like to see anything or hear of anything in terms of reports from this group, because I got my cameras out and I'm ready to make you all look like idiots.
It doesn't take much for me.
Especially you, HGTV.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Right,
everybody.
right.
We will talk to you next week.
It's my new nickname.